Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Jakarta Tech Talk. I'm your host, Ludmila Muña, and today I'm excited to introduce our guest speaker today, Otavio Santana, who will be presenting Accelerating a Software Engineer Career Through Open Source Lessons from Jakarta EE. Before we begin, just a quick reminder if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Ask a Question tab or in the chat anytime during the session. Also, we have something special for you today. We'll be raffling a free ticket to Open Community Experience, OCX 2026, and we'll be sharing an exclusive discount code for all the attendees. So please stay tuned until the end. I will share with you the registration link and more info about OCX. So now, without any further delay, over to you, Octavio. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. Before start, if you are developer and want to enhance your career, it's not only about technical. It's not only about know how to write code, but also we have a couple of points. That's including having a good network. And a conference like OCX, for example, it is a huge opportunity for you to increase your network, share your knowledge, especially because this way you can let people know about what you're capable of. Okay, so go to conference like that. You're gonna increase naturally your technical skills for sure, but also you're gonna learn from people. You're gonna let people know what you can do. You're gonna find people. I remember my first job in English. I'm Brazilian. I natively speak Portuguese. And my first opportunity I got from a conference like that. So today we're gonna cover more about career, and it is impossible to don't go to conference career like that. So you're gonna learn technical stuff. You're gonna be close to people who's building technology as well. You're gonna you can ask your questions about it and so on. So going to conference like that is your career investment in the long term. Okay. Beyond that, right now you're not able to, but next year submit presentations. So try to become a speaker, share what you know. This way you can enhance and challenge yourself to soft skill, to communication skill. And this is also crucial and important to us. Okay. So before start, OXCX is a must conference for you. So okay, Otavio, I'm this in America, so it's a super valuable place to go. Uh, when I lived in Brazil, for example, I used to go to conference across Europe, so need to cross the whole ocean because it is worth every single penny to invest my career going to conference. Okay, so it is before starts message for you. So go to conference like that because you won't regret. You're gonna learn, increase your network, share your knowledge, and maybe find your next job challenge or sell your product as well. So the message about the invitation to go to Brussels to learn is in the comments. So thank you, Eclipse Foundation, to provide that for us. And again, if you can, you must go. It is important. How time you can watch everything by YouTube is not the same thing. So you're not able to have a connection with people. You're not able to know people, even in the bar or things like that. So if you can go, join your economy because again, it is an investment in the long term for you. It's starting right now. So my presentation for today is about how to accelerate your software engineering career through open source, right? So naturally, my focus here will be more around Eclipse Foundation products. That includes for sure the Java standards or Jakarta EE itself. So why should I participate as committer in projects like that? Why should I use my time doing things like that? And especially It is worth my time. It is, does it make sense to my career to uh, go to open source? Should I go only when I become a senior, or can I start when I am entry level as well? So my goal here is to answer all of those questions. And please use the chat to ask your questions, curiosity. So I'm eager to answer all your points around open source and career. So how can I help you to achieve success in your career exploring the open source? Okay, so um, before start, we need to discuss what's happened with the market right now, right? Especially because we are facing things that we never seen before. So we are facing a huge challenge with a huge amount of layoffs, a huge amount of company decreasing the number of people. There is a discussion around AI that might take some jobs. The anxiety because of that, and especially the constant fear of not being employable anymore because I don't know, the number of AI is increasing. So how can I face a lead with that? So unfortunately, that's happening right now, right? But the point is, the opportunity is still there. So the marketing is still looking for developers. And what I need to do instead is having the opportunity, right? So if I'm starting, I want opportunity to enter level. If I'm senior engineer, I want my next challenge, opportunity, and so on. But what is opportunity? What is the formula of opportunity? So I love history and philosophy as well. So I have the Seneca, the Roman philosopher, and he put that formula for us. So opportunity is equals preparation plus chance. So it doesn't matter if there is a chance to become a senior engineer if I'm not well prepared to that opportunity. It doesn't make sense to have an opportunity to enter level if, for example, I don't speak English and this opportunity is to English speakers. So we need to have the preparations, the skills requirements, and then see the opportunities. Okay, sorry, and then see the chance that can change your life. So let's learn with Seneca. So he wrote, let's say, wrote that 2,000 years before, but it's still valid for us. So preparation plus chance. And what I can do. So I need to have when talk about this idea of opportunity is also valid to career, right? Because we need to think that we need to have preparation. So we need to have soft skills, hard skills, the ability to write code, to communicate, to sell ourselves, and so on. We need to have visibility about what we're doing. So right now we have over millions of Java developers or any kind of software engineers. So why they should take me instead of millions of software engineers? That's a valuable question, right? So and also I need to adapt myself to go to any kind of thing of work. So for example, I need to let's say um, learn new skills, adapt to my philosophy inside my organizations, be ready to adapt to a new technology or handle with legacy code. So it is not a single thing that I need to do to have a good software engineering career opportunity. So it's a mixing of bullet points, let's put this way. And at the start, let's discuss more about the preparation because this preparation is the one that's, let's say, the root of creating opportunity. So it doesn't matter if I see an opportunity to who is able to speak Java, code Java with um, some Jakarta EE technology if I don't know those kind of technology. And also, it doesn't matter uh, If I saw an amazing salary and opportunity to who speak English, but I don't speak English at all, so I'm not able to communicate or be a soft architect. So it's a useless to see something if I'm not able to take that opportunity, right? So let's say that the preparation is the hood, so or at least it is my first step to achieve any kind of thing that I can get as software engineer. But what is the opportunity? Sorry, what is the preparation? It's a combination, at least, of both skills or both sides. Usually, when talk about software engineering career, people think more about the hard skills. So, okay, let's write code, let's define architecture, let's discuss design. But we forget that is crucial to handle with people, right? Because when talk about writing code, we writing code to a goal that usually involves people, right? Because we write code to people, with people, and through people. There is no way to escape the people were around software development. There's no way. To achieve that, we also need to combine the soft skills. So communication, the capability of collaborations. We need to be open to keep learning and have the curiosity to be in movement, right? So keep learning things, keep understanding things, and so on. And we need to be ready before the chance arrives. So it doesn't matter if I got opportunity to be a senior in a large search if I don't know a large search or any NoSQL database, right? So uh, again, when we talk about preparation, it's not only about um, this the hard skill. It is important, but we need to combine. Uh, with a person who has over 10 years of experience, I can say that that is not enough. Handle with hard skill is not enough. Handle with writing code is not enough. I know a lot of people who got a job because this person knows a lot, but with a couple weeks, he left the organization because people start to don't be comfortable with that person. This person was not polite, so he was not able to make the environment safe for everybody else. He was aggressive. So again, it's the capability of having both hard and soft skill. Hopefully, I make myself clear about this thing. And okay, I have the preparation. Now people need to know more about myself, so I need to be more discoverable. So how can I do to make myself um available or people know that what I can do? So one thing that we usually forget, but it's matter for us as software engineer, is the personal branding. Yes, personal brands matters a lot for us. And one way to do that is naturally going to conference like OCX, where you're gonna go there, see presentations, learn, and also introduce yourself to the speakers, meet another colleagues, and so on. So uh, share, and also we can have the opportunity to share knowledge. How? Doing presentations and OCX as well. So please submit your presentation to that amazing conference, share, writing articles, and contributing to open source. So it is important to us to make ourselves discoverable because this way I have one highlight, so I have one difference. So people will know more about me. So they will know what I can do. So personal branding is, in summary, what are the people thoughts about you. So okay, I know this person knows a lot. So I know that other me knows a lot about Java. I know that Ivor knows a lot about Jakarta EE and so on. So make yourself visible for everybody else is crucial to your next move career. It is a long-term investment for you, so you don't need to do it today to expect the result tomorrow. But it is crucial having this kind of visibility. So especially because the visibility builds trust. People will start trusting you because we are sharing more knowledge. Okay. The adaptability is also one thing that we need to think about career. So we need to learn to adjust and keep moving. So we need to keep learning, to keep understanding business and system context. And usually we are talking about a career where we need to live with legacy all the time. So we are not able to don't create new software. We need to integrate with some legacy code with another systems and so on. So we need to be more adaptable. So the idea of the agile itself is to be more adaptable, to move fast based on the new, um, let's say, rules and business rules, right? And based on that, what do you think that, okay, I need to be more readable, more discoverable. I need to learn hard and soft skill. And I also need to have visibilities because this way I can be well prepared to opportunities. So if you are um, if you are working in a single country, you can increase your opportunities to have an international career, especially because you have more countries to explore. We have more countries opportunity jobs, not only your current job. So how you can achieve that? So you can uh, having this international career, we have abroad opportunities as well. You have the option to have different currencies to work. So if you work in a different country, and maybe you can take a currency that is stronger than yours. You can have savings because you can work remotely to, let's say, countries that pay more than your current country. Or if you are in countries like um, England, if you have an international career, you can just leave the midtown and go to more cheaper space. And doing that, you're gonna increase your visibility. So starting doing international jobs, people will know more about what you can do, and then increase your visibility and increase your opportunities to have better salaries and so on. And how to achieve that, and how I can do that with open source. Naturally, we are talking about Jakarta EE, right? So it's a Java enterprise. So does it make sense to develop my career using Java? The answer is yes. Java still matters a lot for us. So Java is still one of the most popular language and enterprise ready language in the world. Okay, so when you go to Forbes 500s, the 98 companies of Forbes are using Java right now. It's not only startups. So we have the biggest countries, sorry, the biggest companies in the world using Java all the time. So Java is still a valid language to keep learning and still applying the knowledge and so on. All the time, I want to work in startups. Don't worry. We have space law there as well. All the time, Java is dying. So we're talking about 98% of the companies of the Forbes 500. So, I mean, we talk about companies such as Amazon, Apple, and so on. So if you say that Java is dying, we are talking about almost 500 most important companies in the world is dying. Naturally, it does not make sense, right? So a Java is still popular, a Java is still valid. Is one language that you can use to enhance your career and move it forward as well. And And when we talk about international career and how open source can help you for you, you can have the consideration that the coding is way easier than comparing to another areas. For example, um, software engineer does not require any, let's say, um, diploma or resume validation. So if for example, I have my Brazilian software engineer graduation, where I can use in Europe if without any. let's say, an issue, or vice versa. So I have my European university, and then I can use in America if without any issue. So if you go to health area like a nurse or doctors, they need to do a huge process validation and spend a lot of money to have opportunity in different areas. In our case, we don't need it. We don't need to validate our diploma, we don't need to validate our university certification and so on. So we don't have any validation in regulation either. So what I can do as option here, if I have a valid experience, if I can prove that I have a valid experience, I can apply for different markets across the globe. And that is the amazing part of being part of an open source. So you have the global visibility, you have the opportunity to have a contributing to several showcase to the world. So you can learn with the best. So you can learn with the people who are doing the Java, who are doing who is doing the Java technology, who is doing the Java enterprise technology. You can understand the best IT cultures, right? So you can understand how Microsoft work, how Red Hat work, and so on. So I dare to say that the biggest and the best companies in the world are doing open source right now. So you might using some open source product from the biggest companies across the globe. Furthermore, you will increase your opportunities doing open source because doing open source, you're gonna learn how to write a better code. You're gonna learn how people in the biggest companies around the globe are doing their job and so on. And again, when talk about open source, when talk about Jakarta EE, it's important to highlight why Java and Jakarta EE matters for us, right? So why it is important to keep learning and why it's worth to invest your time in Jakarta EE. So the biggest technical difference of Java is because we have a huge amount of companies who work with Java right now. So if we compare to another technology, we have usually one company, one technology, one company, one technology. With Java, it doesn't happen because we have a huge amount of organizations working directly in the Java, in the core Java right now. So, for example, in Jakarta EE, we have over hundreds companies contributing with the technology right now. Why that? Because Java in the Java Enterprise or Jakarta EE, they combine those of the two amazing, let's say, philosophy and methodology. So the open source, the capability of read, write, study, modify, and redistribute a source code. So using open source, I can achieve that. So think about how can I share and multiply the knowledge using the open source methodology. So you can see a lot of products that are open source right now. So you can see, for example, Spring, the Java itself, and so on. So Python, PHP, and so on. However, Java goes way beyond that. Java is open source with open standards. That means I have the whole idea of open source, but instead of sharing the source code, I will share rules and, let's say, behaviors of this kind of thing. Okay, so the idea in summary of the open standard is sharing behavior and certifications instead of source code. And Java combine that. So when talk about open standards, you are using a huge amount of those right now. So HTTP is an open standard, SQL is an open standard. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, XML as well. And on that list, we have Java. So it shows the behavior, it has implementations. So everything Java is about working open standard and open source together. And every time that we discuss standards, We usually think and complain because usually standard goes a little bit behind and it is slow comparing with another technology. So it's natural comparing, for example, with Spring with Jakarta EE. Okay. But let's do one step back. Why do we need a standard in humankind? Because a standard goes beyond soft engineering. It's about the whole human to share one way to share knowledge, communication, and measure the human progress. So if you go to the whole history, you can see several samples of standards across the history. So across the age, across the globe, and so on. For example, we have the standard of communications. We have the standard of I'm writing something you are able to understand. So it is happening right now with software. So standards is one way to make sure that we can do step by step, sharing the knowledge, sharing the science, and making progress. And doesn't mean the goal is not to go fast. It's to keep moving forward with stability, and at the same time making progress to allow a lot of people working in a single place. Otavio, what's the difference between open source and open standards? So, as I said, open source is sharing source code. Standard is sharing behavior. Can a project be open source if without being an open standard? Yes. We have a huge amount of case. For example, Spring is open source driven by, if I'm not mistaken, a single company. And there's no standard. So it's a super popular in Java. And even Spring, by the way, use the Jakarta EE. Okay. So thanks to standards, we share the same language. We have the cooperation because that. We are writing and preserve the knowledge across generations, not only the software engineering, but the science itself. We have one way to measure. We have standards, units, and make trades and science is possible because of that. So we reduce the ambiguity and conflicts doing these standards. And we are able to do a progress scale when we are sharing the same meaning. So with open standards combined with open source, we can share and create innovations and scalability in the global scalability. Okay, so that is why the standard and open source both are essential. So we support long live systems and T rotations. We enable cross vendors platforms. We reduce operational and contractual lock-in. We allow enterprise to involve if without rewrites. And that is why the enterprise Java Jakarta EE is one thing that is worth to invest your time and understand and learn about your career. Think about the differentiation. So when talk about Java developers, a lot of people does not understand how Java works. People still believe in the Java is born in tree, but that is not true, right? So Java combines open source with open source, and Jakarta EE as well follows the same philosophy. So this is a combination between those two. And naturally, okay, Otavio, we discuss about open source. We discuss about why visibility, preparation, and things like that is important to my career. Using Seneca code as well, or the definition opportunity. But why Jakarta? Why not something else? Because Jakarta is enterprise standard for Java. So if you are using Java Enterprise right now, you are using the Jakarta EE. Oh, Tavio, I am a Spring developer. You are using Jakarta. Quarkus, Jakarta, and so on. So it doesn't matter each flavor of Java you are using. Right now, you might be using Jakarta, even if you don't know about it. So with Jakarta, we provide a stable and vendor-neutral API. We support multiple architectures and runtimes. We reduce the fragmentation across enterprise and stacks. we are finally enabled to do the evolution without breaking applications. And as I mentioned before, uh, we have a huge amount of people using Jakarta EE right now. So imagine you being a core committer of a technology that everybody is using in uh, with Java right now. So think about it. Right now we have 9 millions of software developers who is able to code in Java. And the people who is contributing with those projects, especially Jakarta, if I'm not mistaken, is less than 200. So you can go in the top 200 people who is contributing to the Java enterprise right now. How? Contributing to Jakarta EE. So if you are contributing to Jakarta EE, you are contributing to Spring, to Quarkus, to Tomcat, to Glassfish, to Halidon, Hibernate, Payara, um, Open Liberty, and so on. And Otavio, but I want to do presentation. I want to be around the globe. So yes, you can contribute to your Jakarta EE, prepare your presentation, and then apply to OCX. And this year, if you go there, you can see people who is contributing activity to those Jakarta EE technology. So how amazing is that? And based on that, so hopefully I pay your attention in how important it is to contribute to open source in your career. Okay, so to find opportunity, I will give you some tips and something that I'd like to learn when starting to beginning with open source. Yes, my whole career changed because of open source. I had a huge impact of my career because of open source. Okay, so yes, open source can help you to achieve a better result in your career for sure. And I will give you some tips and some advice to how you can take advantage in your career as well. Naturally, the first step before even going to the code is having a discipline, especially because when we start to contributing to open source, you're gonna do that on your free time. So probably some days after your work, probably some days on weekends as well. So having these disciplines, you can achieve better results. And yes, the discipline beats the motivation because the motivation can take days. However, the results might take years. Okay, so it is not an investment of time that you can do today and take it tomorrow. Usually, it takes years to get a good result and build a good career as software engineer. So sorry to don't give you like it is magic because it is not magic. One book that can help you for sure is this Atomic Habits, especially because if you can do every single day a single contribution. I'm not talking about investing 5, 7 hours on Saturday. I'm talking about doing 30 minutes every single day. This way you can, you know, have a balance between your personal and your occupation life. Let's say this way. So be a better professional, be a better person every single day. Get away bad habits as well. For example, I know a lot of people enjoy to play video games and something like that, or use the time to social medias. I'm not saying that you should not do so. Do, however, you can decrease to have time slot to do contributions in the open source. Plus, you can achieve a better result in your career. So, and again, it is a long-term investment. So it's not magic to achieve results having a good habit. So um, that is my advice number one. If you are not English speaker, so if you're not native, my advice to you is like I do with piano. So do every single day. And how open source can help you to that. Open source are usually global in scale. So with open source, you can write documentation in English. You can translate the documentation to your native language. For example, if you are a Spanish person, you can take the The information in English translate to a blog post in Spanish and then share this information so more people know what you can do and what you would know, right? So when talk about English and comparing with music, because my, let's say, my second passion, my hobby, um, English is the music sheet for IT. So we have the standard to communicate. So if I want to play Beethoven right now, I'm gonna have the way to do it. So if I want to achieve the greatest mind around music, I need to know how to read the music sheet. And if something happened with English. So if I want to achieve and communicate with the biggest mind in IT, I need to go to English. So how to do that? You can do presentations. You can also do a small step. So you can go online to Java user groups, for example, doing a lighting talk. Uh, Maybe if you are native, but you don't have the fluent to do presentations. So you can start practice that every single day. So writing articles, writing blogs, share the knowledge, increase. Doing that, you're gonna share your capability, help with documentation. So, by the way, it is the greatest way to contribute to open source products is doing something that nobody wants to do, like you write in documentation. And if the celebrity is alive and this person speaking English, you can communicate. So right now, for example, I'm working in Jakarta data specification, and I meet one of the person that I admire a lot. So I meet Gavin King online, of course. So because I am capable to speak in English. So English, do it early as possible. So if you speak in English, if you was born in like US or English, England, be ready to do presentations so you can use and take advantage of the community of that. So do presentation, lighting, talking, writing. If you're not English native, you can translate something, you can review documentation and so on. So English, you be my second advice. How? Doing every single day, having a good habits to achieve that. And another point, I know there is a huge amount of things to learn. My advice to you is be essential. So try to achieve one goal, I don't know, by quarter or by year. So don't try to be a Java specialist at the same time, be a Python specialist, SQL specialist, no SQL specialist, new SQL specialist. It's impossible to learn everything around computer science, especially in 1 year. So have goals, have clear goals. So um, and of course have a good life balance. So don't forget about your family. For example, I usually go to Java, software architecture, code design, but I'm not an expert in Kubernetes. So I need to say no to something because if I say yes for everything, I'm capable to go deep in anything. Okay, so if you want to be an expert, you need to be ready to say no to a lot of things. I'm not saying that you should not know anything about Kubernetes, so you need to know at least the basic, but you don't need to go deep on Kubernetes if you are, for example, a Java developer. So, or but if you want to become like, let's say, SRE, of course, need to go in deep on that. My point is, it is impossible to cover everything deep on computer science. So, uh, as in medicine, it is impossible to have an expert in a single person who knows multiple areas. It might be the same thing for you. And when talk about the art to say no, we are also doing priorities. So maybe this year is a year to you to enhance your English communication plus Java, or maybe learn more about Jakarta. So my advice is okay, I want to participate in any Jakarta EE specification. So don't try to apply to all of those specifications. Take one or two, and that is enough. Okay, so go to one or two, understand how it's going there, have the idea to read the GitHub issues, review the GitHub repositories, check the pull requests. Uh, we have a huge amount of components. Don't try to run multiples. at the beginning. And again, it is impossible to know the whole IT area in a single person. Okay. And as I mentioned that before, right? So is the visibility is something that's open more door than be a super technical skill person. I know that is sometimes hurt because we are shy, we don't want to talk about ourselves, don't want to share knowledge, nothing like that. We want to always be behind the keyboard, but unfortunately, it is not what happened. So this picture here is one reference to Caesar's wife. So I don't know if you're familiar with the history. Uh, at that time, there was rumor about Julius Caesar's wife, about infidelity, and she was innocent, but Caesar decided to keep the divorce anyway. And when people ask why, he said, uh, the Caesar wife is not to be honest. It needs to look like an honest person as well. So the appearance matters to the human life, enjoying that or not. So being seen is important. Visibility opens more door, as I said, than pure technical skills. So it doesn't matter if you know a lot, if you not, people know that you can do. And open source can help you with that. So don't be invisible. Visibility create trust. Trust me. Show impact, not just you writing code. So hey, what did you do? So no, I'm writing the specification that goes to across the globe. Doing the Jakarta EE, you're gonna do like an experience of doing a global scale project with a lot of people with different cultures, methodologies, and so on. So with open source, you can show impact, not because you're writing the code, uh, because you are combining the software engineering, and software engineering goes beyond writing the code. So, okay, I know that you can see a lot of people writing some samples and put in a GitHub repository, but just a few people can say that this something like I make the future of the Java enterprise, right? So the visibility of writing the future of the Java enterprise is way more higher than I have a bunch of samples on my GitHub repository. So please pay attention to that as well. Another point is the technical area is not one area to be alone. Please pay attention to that. So every career steps involves people, not just code. So outside, I want to be an expert. So an expert, you need to involve people. A staff engineer, people. And then software architect, people as well. So, and people need to trust you. And if you introduce yourself as someone who is contributing to Jakarta EE, for sure, it is an amazing way to put in your resume, LinkedIn, and so on that you are doing this kind of thing. So every career involves people, and people need to trust you. And naturally, the credential of being a creator of the most impactful technology in the world is a huge differential to your career. So that matters a lot. So I want you only write code, only writing code, not even software engineering. Software engineering goes beyond that. Uh, I'm not complaining about certifications. Okay, so before I explain that, so certification is still valid, it's important, but it doesn't define you. So take here, for example. So we have James Gosling, and I have one person who has the Java certification. How many certifications I will have the same credibility of the father of the Java? How many persistence certification I have the same reliability than Gavin King or the creator of the Hibernate, right? So I'm not complaining. Those things are crucial, are important. Let's say those things are the fundamentals. So university are crucial, certifications are important. However, when you talk about international career, having merit makes you the one. So if I talk about the father of Java, probably the first thing that come out to your mind is James Robinson. If I talk about someone who has uh, the Java certification, we think about a million people, right? So one person against 1 million. So have this highlighting is crucial for your career. Again, think about your career as software engineer, being father of some specification, be core committer of some specification that the whole world is using right now. And why that's important? Because every time that you're gonna do some interview process, some hiring process, your first contact usually won't be a technical person. Okay, so we have probably to talk with recruiters, managers, clients, stakeholders, and those are usually not people who's capable to see your code. We're gonna report to people who's not able to understand your code as well. You're gonna discuss with technology people who's not capable of understand what you're writing. And that's how open source can help you. If you remember, I mentioned documentation. Documentation can help you to have a better writing skill, right? The capability of doing presentation to your Java's group is one thing that you can do to apply to your career, to your job as well, to introduce to your team new technology, to propose new methodology to your team, to discuss the product release with the product team as well, or to propose new features and so on. So um, that's why I mentioned that we need to combine both hard and soft skill, especially because usually your first contact, you won't be a technical person. So managers, directors, stakeholders, and so on. And the one point that I learned in my career is about communication. So I did that huge mistake before. So I don't recommend you to keep that. So I thought that soft means easy, but there's no truth. So soft is about flexibility, adaptability, and sometimes it's harder than syntax because, for example, I can practice Java, right? But how can I practice to do a bad feedback for somebody else? How can I practice to do a strong feedback about something? How can I practice to sell my idea? I only have the real world to do that, right? So soft is not about easy, it's about flexibility. For example, imagine that you want to upgrade your Jakarta EE version. Naturally, if you are a leader, you have at least two types of people. The software engineering team that need to discuss technically the impact of garbage collector, syntax, and so on. And we need to talk about the stakeholder that usually they are not technical. So we need to talk about security, performance, save money, and so on. So the same idea of using the latest version of Jakarta EE, I have two, let's say, two different approaches. So to one people is especially C level is about how efficient my team will be with new features, how time I will save, how secure, how economy will be my cloud. And to the technical team, I need to go deep and showing Jakarta data and so on. So soft skill is not something easy. So we need to be adaptable to do that all the time. So one single way to do that is again doing open source, going to meetings. So Jakarta E is actually we have like weekly projects, weekly discussions projects where you can go, you can check the Jakarta EE calendar, you can listen to, so you can practice and also raise your ideas, raise your points, and have questions to answer. So you can start proposing things on those, let's say, meetings, enhance your communications. And talking about conference, I guess I talk a lot of today. So like OCX that I have this year, when you do a presentation, trust me, you're gonna learn twice. Sharing knowledge accelerate your growth. not only as a person, but a technical person as well. So because you have the idea to organize and deep your knowledge, you're gonna have to explain what you have in your mind. You have the idea to share what matters. You have the idea to think, to share, uh, and sell the idea why that is, I don't know, better than another one. So teaching is important, and you can do that with Jakarta EE as well. So for me, open source, and in this case, Jakarta EE is a training ground because you can practice English, you can practice coding, you can practice community, everything at one single place. Okay, so you can practice English every day in real professional context because you need to increase your vocabulary around IT and computer science to discuss the features around Jakarta EE. So you can improve your code skills proposing pull requests, right? So you can see how people from IBM, Google, Red Hat, and so on think about good practice, and people can review that and then can approve. You can build a community connections, so you can have new friends or new jobs or new even colleagues or maybe partners. You can run your own companies thanks to open source. Increase your visibility because your work is seen worldwide. So everybody knows about Jakarta EE right now, especially because it impacts the whole world, mainly to the Java developers, because as I mentioned before, everybody who is using Java in the enterprise is using Jakarta EE. And naturally, awards recognitions come as a result of consistent contribution. So every year, Jakarta EE, uh, they have the awards to the top contributors, and they create some gifts with the logo "I make Jakarta EE" or "I make the Java Enterprise." So you can receive several certifications and things like that all the time. So that is all for today. Hopefully, I explained myself why Jakarta EE can enhance your career, to improve your career, and why combined soft skills and hard skills matter for you. So, software engineering is, let's say, the principle of the ultimate software engineer. So, the person who is capable to apply open source practice in the real world, let's say this way, so enterprise world. So, and hopefully that is all for today. So my name is Otavio Santana, software engineer, Java champion, JCP executive member, and so on. Hopefully, I got a lot of titles, certifications, and books. And just for today, I have one book. So if you want to learn more about what is the ultimate engineer, so you have this book for free. Hopefully, you enjoy. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And again, so it is an amazing opportunity to go to open community experience to learn more about open source, open standard, and so on. So that is it for today.
Thank you so much, Octavio, for this amazing presentation. Let's see if someone in the audience has questions. I don't see any
Yeah, there's no
in the chat.
questions. So hello, Leticia. Hello, João. Um, hello, Mateus. So I can see 20 people around us. So
All right. While we are waiting for them to make some questions, maybe I already upload the list of attendees from this webinar um, on the raffle website. So the system will randomly choose one winner. So let's do it.
okay, I stopped sharing my screen, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you can share yours.
Screen. All right. So can you see it? Yeah. Now it's
Okay.
uploading. Yeah, so I upload the all the list of attendees and let's have a look.
7, 6. Whoa.
Okay, Edia,
AGL.
are you there? We will contact you soon for giving away your free ticket. Thank you so much for being here, attending. And okay, and this is the everyone attending this webinar live will get a 25% of discount.
Whoa,
So
that's
I'll
good.
share it
Yes.
here with this webinar 25. Sorry, I don't know why. Webinar 25 is the code for you to apply it. Oh, and we have a question from David. What is the first point of contact to get involved with Jakarta EE through the website or one of the mailings?
Okay. We have the mentorship page. So let's see. We have the Jakarta EE mentorship program. So Jakarta EE slash mentorship, where you can start for that. So I don't know how to share this link, but it's Jakarta EE, Jakarta.ee slash mentorship. And then you can, okay, here. And then you can go to there, and we have a Slack channel you can discuss. My advice for you is first read the whole page, explore the Jakarta EE page, understand why each part want to contribute, but for sure, uh, there is a good start page to go to and learn how to contribute.
Yeah, and I'm sharing a link. There is a form that you can upload your Jakarta Tech Talk if you want to present. We're always
Oh,
looking
that's nice.
for new speakers, so if you want to participate, you're welcome to do it. Thank you so much. All right, I think we don't have any more questions
No, I don't think
today.
so.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for attending. Thank you, Octavio, once again for sharing your expertise and time with us. And I hope you see you all at OCX. Let's see.
See you everybody. Talk to you. Bye bye.